I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, one of the things I learned to do was yo-yo. Yep, yo-yo. My dad actually taught me how to do it. Did you? Yo-yo? If so, do you remember that one trick called walking the dog? Well, today we're going to talk all about walking the dog. Now, not the yo-yo trick. Actually, we're going to talk all about walking the dogs. Allie Landis and Alan Watts, they joined me, and they're the owners of Let's Walk Austin. It's a dog walking company that's rapidly expanding to other cities just for their love of dogs and the kindness and attention to details they bring to us dog owners and our best friends. Now here's some trivia. Did you know it's believed that dog walking's been around since the pyramids and the pharaohs back in the Egyptian times? Allie and Alan are going to get into some of the stories of why they've grown so fast. The crazy stories that dog owners have told them of others that were supposed to be taking care of their pets. It's eye-opening and it's a bit frightening, but don't worry, their fresh approach is one that will make you feel pretty good about what they're doing. So get ready to hear all about these modern-day pharaohs and the dog walks they have been on. We are supported by PrepVet, providing stem cell therapy for pets.
As a pet lover, did you know your pet can benefit from the incredible healing power of stem cell therapy? Prep Therapy offers a groundbreaking solution taken right from your pet's own blood. Say goodbye to joint pain, arthritis, kidney and liver conditions, and more. They'll experience faster recovery, increased vitality, and extended quality of life without the need for surgery or harmful drugs. Put the wag back in their tail and discover Prep Therapy today at PrepVet.com. Save 10% with promo code FurRealPodcast, covered by most pet insurance.
For real, 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 for real. Got a bunch of furry friends and I love them all the same. I'm an animal lover, veterinarian is the name. Let's share some pet stories from heartwarming to strange. Losses and gains, from wacky to insane. For real. You're now tuned in to For Real with your host, Mark Kyle.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the For Real Podcast. Today, I've got two people on that I've been trying to get on for a long time. You're going to love this. Please welcome Adam Watts and Allie Landis. They are actually living here in Austin where I live, and they have a dog walking business, and I'm going to let them tell the story, tell you the name, and we'll go from that. So guys, welcome, and thanks so much for finally getting us together.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. We're excited to be here.
So let's just dig into this a little bit. Tell me how you got started. Either one of you can talk. And I know, Allie, you've been running a lot of this stuff, but, tell me the story, what got you into it, and let's talk where you are today.
It's actually a really funny story. I had just gone through a breakup and moved back from Rhode Island to Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm from. And my stepmom sent me a next door post for a woman hiring for her dog walking company. And I applied thinking that my stepmom was friends with this woman. I got the job and I told my stepmom, hey, I got the job with your friend. And she said, I don't know that woman.
That's funny.
Had I known that, I never would have applied. I just applied to be polite.
Right.
It turned out to be the best job ever, especially going through a breakup. It got me out of the house. I was with dogs, fresh air, exercising, and I loved it. And then we had to move to Texas. So I had to leave that job and I was really upset about it. And when I got to Texas, I emailed all the dog walking companies. Nobody was hiring. This was before COVID, so everybody was fully staffed.
Mm-hmm.
And Let's Walk Austin responded to my email and he said, I'll interview you, but I'm not hiring. This is just for the future. So I went to the interview and I had just broken my wrist as well. So I show up in a camouflage cast and the former owner said, what happened to your wrist? And I said, what are you talking about? Acting like you couldn't see the cast. I killed the interview and he said, never mind, I'm hiring you now. He said, but I do have a question. How are you going to hold a leash and pick up poop bags at the same time? I said, let me show you. And so we trained the next day and I showed him and I worked for him for a year. And then in 2021, he sold me the company to start a nonprofit pig rescue in Tennessee.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's cool.
Saving all these farm animals now.
And then she's been killing it ever since.
So, Alan, how'd you get involved? And let's get a little bit of your background.
Yeah, so I'd been in the alcohol industry for almost 12 years. Obviously, Allie and I got married a little bit after moving to Texas. So I had always kind of helped her on the back end, doing walks and overnights and pet care when I could outside of my full time job. And then just recently, we moved over to Houston in September and started Let's Walk Houston. It started growing very, very rapidly. And just kind of looked at everything, and we talked, and it presented the opportunity for me to resign from the alcohol industry and come and do this full time. So we're both just taking it one day at a time and doing the best we can and looking at major growth in the future.
So you guys have a place in Denver as well, too, right?
Yes, we opened that franchise summer of 2023.
So let me go back, and I'm trying to get some time from here. So 2021 is when you took over the company,
Yes.
and you now have 3 locations.
Yes.
So you're aggressively being a dog walker. So you're walking a pack now.
That's right. There's never a shortage of dogs.
We're looking at new locations too.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So tell me, when you first did that and it was your stepmom's non-friend
Mm-hmm.
and you did it, what was it that made you like it? And then how did you, I mean, obviously you try to get the job here in Austin and basically have taken over the company. What was the reason? Tell me how you got involved.
I had a desk job right out of college doing marketing, which I majored in, and I loved marketing, but I cannot sit. That was just miserable sitting at a desk. So to get paid to exercise, to not deal with other humans, and to be with dogs, it was just the most rewarding job that I really feel like I couldn't call work. I just was doing it for fun. And then getting paid to do that was just the cherry on top.
So were you a dog person your entire life?
Yes.
Out of curiosity, I know you're dog walking. Do you ever do anything with cats?
We do cats. We love cats. I draw the line with snakes.
Yeah, I can't imagine you're walking a snake.
Well, we've done rabbits, ducks, chickens, horses.
Wow.
Ferrets.
Parrots. Got to feed the parrots when the talking parrots when you're in their house.
Yep. And we Austin, we had some ferrets that actually walked on leashes, so that was interesting.
That I would be embarrassed actually. A ferret. So I know that there's some big names out there that everybody knows. I'm not even going to bring them up because, and I know they're not your competitors because I'm sure you get a lot of the business without naming names of other companies. How do you get your business? Obviously there's some big names out there. How has your business grown so fast and why has it grown that fast?
So when I first took over Let's Walk Austin in 2021, I was super excited to do marketing, which I studied, and I didn't get a chance to do that for pretty much the first 2 years because we grew strictly on word of mouth and I could not keep up with the demand. When you take good care of somebody's animal, they just share you with everyone they know.
Uh-huh.
And so, for example, we had a client on one street in Barton Creek, and I walked his dogs twice a day, every day, so 10 times a week. And the neighbors saw me out there, and at first they thought I was his wife, and then other people asked if I was his kid. And then when they found out I was a dog walker and they saw me every single day, rain or shine, they were like, wait a minute. So now we have 12 people in that neighborhood, which is great for our girls that go up there. They can spend a whole day on that street.
Yeah, that's great.
But now that we're staffed, I can do marketing. So flyers are fun. Instagram is huge. We send out mailers.
So, but when a lot of times I'm obviously in your neighborhood and that makes sense because you're kind of word of mouth from that. But I know that you've taken business from a lot of ones and I know there's some horror stories out there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about those stories? For all of us that have had dog walkers or somebody to watch their dog while we're gone, you never really think about it, but just for grins and giggles, can you tell me a couple of those stories?
Sure. One of them, everybody nowadays has pet cameras inside, which I suggest. She watched somebody from one of those big companies come in and do a line of cocaine on her counter before walking her 6-pound dog.
So did she walk it or run the dog after the cocaine?
It was a very fast walk.
Another one, they actually met the sitter prior. You don't have to do meet and greets with those big companies, but they did, and they left the country. And her dogs were crated, and she had cameras on the crates, and that sitter never showed up for 2 days. And this client came to me because she found me on Google and called me crying, and she was like, "Can you please just go get my dogs out of their crate?" And so, I didn't get to do a meet and greet because they were already out of the country at the time. And it was pretty sad. One of her dogs kind of was never the same after spending 48 hours in a crate.
In a crate and hungry too.
Yes.
And probably thirsty as well.
Mm-hmm.
So as you grew here in Austin, I want more stories, by the way, but I bounce all over the place, so I apologize always because this is how my mind works. So as you grew here in Austin and you saw so you were in Denver before Houston. Is that how'd that work?
So we moved from Georgia out to Texas, and we ended up landing in Austin. So when we were there, so the Denver part is a funny story. One of my college roommates and his wife, he's an accountant, and helped us look at some numbers and things and the business side, and kind of teach us a little bit more on the back end there. And after he kind of ran some stuff for us, he was like, "Wow, would you be open to my wife and I, trying to open one of these and helping us doing a franchise?" So we said absolutely, and basically I moved up to Denver for 2 months to help them open that summer and got them off the ground and running. So they're doing really well up there. And then from there, we decided to move to Houston and get Houston open.
So, and all of them are called Let's Walk in the city they're affiliated with.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay. More stories now. We got to get more stories. I want to hear more stories.
We just got a client who they left a bottle of wine for their sitter. And this sitter came from a reference from a really popular dog bakery here in Houston. So you would think that this would be a good reference. And so they left the bottle of wine for the sitter so she could enjoy her weekend with their dog. She drank all of the wine, threw up red wine everywhere,
Ew.
and just left the house.
I guess she was so embarrassed, didn't bother to clean it, nothing. They came home to throw up all over their couch, and they had a white couch all over their floor. Yeah, she just didn't bother to even help.
That's crazy. So how about some heartwarming stories where you're walking the dog, and some great stories that you guys have done so people can kind of, for all of us out there that listen, they're dog lovers. Here's any heartwarming ones that you can tell me, like some of your favorite stories of some of the animals you've had?
I think one of my favorite things is, when you go to a new client and they've just adopted an animal, and the animals come from a shelter and they've had the worst life, and just seeing the life that these people are willing to give these dogs and how it changes them and how they grow, it's just unreal. Because, for people to hire a dog walker, that right there just means that they really care about their dog, and that dog's about to have the best life. And just to see them grow and get better with us as well, it's just so amazing.
So you guys have a bunch of regular clients. So these dogs, do they recognize you when you come back the next time?
Yeah.
Yeah, they like us better than their own parents. We get that all the time.
And the parents admit it. And sometimes we're like, back in Austin, we would go to the bar or a restaurant, and their dog would see us and start pulling before the owner.
Oh, that's cute.
We never see the owners. So we'll see them at the meet and greet, and a year will go by. We see their dog every day, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's you."
So do you have like people that like they're just during their work day, they have you come and walk the dogs because they can't be there all day? Does that happen too?
Mm-hmm. And then we have a lot of clients who are home, working from home, and they just don't have time.
That's kind of sad if they're dog owners and they don't do that. So for places that you guys don't have locations, and I know you guys are expanding, what would be if I was looking, because we've got people actually all over the world that listen to the podcast, what would you tell them the best way to look for a dog walker, the questions they would ask to make sure that they were getting somebody that would give the same kind of love and care that you guys give?
Read reviews. I constantly check to make sure that we still have 5 stars, because it's one of my biggest nightmares. There really should be no excuse for not 5 stars, and just check the reviews as to why they wouldn't have them. Check their team page on the website. And then when you do meet them at the meet and greet, I can tell right away. I'm a helicopter mom with my 2 dogs. And when we moved to Houston, we had to find a dog walking company or sitting company when we had to go on a trip. And I went through 3 different companies before I found the right one.
But what were you looking for? Just to kind of give some pointers, like if I've got dogs as well, but I'm kind of if I'm kind of clueless on what to look. If somebody comes in and sounds good, what would be the questions that you would ask them? Is there any specific questions that would help you have the red flags that you make sure you wouldn't want to have them there?
I asked how long they've been doing it.
Uh-huh.
I asked how they would handle reactive dogs because one of mine is reactive. I ask if they're attentive to doors, locking the doors, making sure my cat doesn't get out. I kind of go overboard so that I not scare them, but I let them know how intense I am.
Right,
I won't enjoy my trip if I'm worried about my animals. I'd rather not be on vacation.
right, because then you're worried the entire time.
I also think it's very important to listen to what they ask, because if they're a good caregiver and know animals,
Uh-huh.
they're going to ask you all of those questions before you have to ask them. So it's really important to let them speak and kind of see where they're coming from and what they ask you, because that's very important.
Now, you guys also, what you were saying earlier too, you take care of horses too. How does that work?
So we have a client in Austin who summers in Pagosa, and she flew us out last summer to take care of her horses.
I think this is probably one of the cooler aspects of this job that Allie's tapped into, just because people trust her and our company so much. We have people that vacation or summer in other places, and they will pay to fly us there when they vacation from their vacation home to take care of their animals.
Oh, that's terrible.
So this summer I'm going to California to dog sit while they go to Europe.
Okay, wait a minute. So there's somebody that moved from here to move from Texas to wherever they're from and move in California. They ask you to come out while they're there. Is that how that work? How'd that work?
They summer in California, but then they're going on another trip from their trip.
Uh-huh.
And so she's flying me out to California because her dog can't go to Europe. So I'm going to hang out with him in California when they go there.
Oh, that's so bad. You have to leave this warm weather that we have.
I'm really upset about it.
Yeah, I bet. What part of California?
Lido Island.
Where's Lido Island? Down in San Diego?
It's off the coast of Newport.
Yeah. Oh, Orange County.
Yep. I've never been, so I'm super excited.
Cool. More stories, a couple more stories, and then we'll let you guys get into be walking some more dogs. Tell me some more stories.
So we had a client in Austin that reached out to us, and she had told us she used another company, and the girl had came, to sit during the holiday time, and she just made herself comfortable at her house to use her car all weekend, and then proceeded to basically throw a party at her house every night, and have different people over, men, whatever, in and out of her house all night, and it was just shocking that somebody would just think that they could use the other person's car. And then on top of that, just have random people coming in and out of this person's home. That's one thing we do. We don't allow anybody else over when we're there or our employees are there. That's the only person that's allowed into the client's home. So that way, everything's safe and secure, and you're comfortable with it as well.
So, of all the houses, which one had the most animals that you actually had to watch or walk?
We had a client who had 5 little dogs. She said no walking, so she had like a big backyard for him. But to learn all 5 names was fun.
I barely remember my 2. So, if people want to get a hold of you, again, you guys are right now in Austin and Houston, and you have your franchise in Denver. What's the best way to get a hold of you? All your Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, your website, everything that you can think of.
So it's Let's Walk and then the cityname.com for the website. So Let's Walk Austin.com, Let's Walk Houston.com, and Let's Walk Denver.com. Either the website, you can see our reviews and our team. And then there's a new submission form if you're interested. I would say Instagram for Houston and Austin is big. I spend too much time to admit on there, but people love our stories on there. And if I don't post, they're like, I need to know what happened. I need to know about these dogs and what you guys did today. So Instagram or our website.
And Instagram is Let's Walk Austin or Let's Walk Houston and Denver, same thing?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I can't really think of anything else. Can you guys think of any other thing you want to talk about so people understand about, the dog walking world?
I just want to say how grateful I am for our clients to trust us and give us this dream job and opportunity. We actually, when we got married, I had to, I never take time off, and I had to take time off for my wedding. So I told my clients, and they didn't even know I was getting married, and so they were like, "Oh my gosh, send me your registry." So half of the things on our registry were from our clients. One of them got us the robot vacuum. They said after walking my dog every day, you should never have to vacuum your house. And another one of our clients was actually at our wedding, which was super special. So I couldn't be here without the trust and support of our clients with their babies.
One of the things I was going to ask you, and I forgot when we were talking, but have you become good friends with a lot of the people that you're actually doing work walking with?
Yes.
Some of them are definitely family now. Because we work so much, we miss a lot of Thanksgiving and Christmas with our own family. So some of our clients that have been local to Austin and things like that invite us over for Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas Day. So we've actually it's really nice to have those people like that.
Well, I've got to know you guys because, for you guys listening, there's a coffee shop I go here in Austin called Joe's, and that's where we first met. And I know how much you guys care. Now, I did a little bit of reading on the history of dog walking, and you guys may know this, but at least I don't know if it's a legend or not, but they say that back in the time in Egypt and the pharaohs and pyramids that they actually had dog walkers back then. Did you know that?
I did not
I
know
didn't
that.
either. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys are like pharaohs now. Then and to take it one step further. So in the U.S. now, again, I always wonder about these things when you read them on the web. But I guess in 1899 in New York was the first real paid dog walker that it's been, I guess, put in the paper. Have you ever read it? Heard anything about it? It was a woman actually. Did you know that?
I did not know that
Yeah,
either.
that's
And so it's actually kind of a cool story. So some woman, a wealthy woman back in this time, went into, and it's a thing, let me look at my notes. It's called the Exchange for Women's Work. Said, hey, do you have anybody that can exercise my dog? And they didn't have anybody. And this woman came in, another woman came in after the lady had been there and said, hey, listen, I want to get a job. And they said, we have a job for you. You can get paid to walk this lady's dog. And that's how it started in New York.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I just, I wanted to get a little, trivia kind of stuff there. So now I'm helping you guys now. You can put that on your website or anything.
That's right.
We actually get asked all the time if when people hear what we do or when we're at meet and greets, clients ask how many dogs do you walk at the same time, and I have to tell them it's not the New York style where you've got
100.
yeah. No, this is one-on-one, but I do want to do one day in New York as a dog walker just to see.
Yeah, there's actually a podcast called, and it's actually really cool. I think it's called Off the Leash. What's her name? I'm trying to get her on the podcast. She's written a couple books, and she does a podcast with people and their animals, and they actually go walking and they record where they're walking.
Oh, fun.
All these animal stories and that too. It's a really cool one. It's Alexandra Horowitz. It's her name. And so at some point she'll be on the podcast, but she's one of those New York people that does that. It's kind of cool.
We'll have to look her up.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you guys know, I do a kid's joke every time. So I'm going to ask you, it's a dad's joke. So, and everybody cringes. So first off, to warn everybody that's listening, if you haven't listened to an episode before, I know these are terrible, but I'm always telling people you can always tell better when you can send something in. We'll get to that in a second. So here's my question. What do you call a dog in the winter? Come on, you dog walking people.
I don't know.
Not a frozen dog.
Close. A chili dog.
Oh, I got one for you to go on top of that. What do you call a dog with no legs?
What do you call a dog with no legs?
You don't call him, he won't come.
Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Exactly. These are the goofy ones we like to say. But again, for everybody that's out there listening, please, if you want your kids to tell a joke, everybody's got a better joke than our jokes for sure. So if you can please send me an email, mkyle@forrealpodcast.com. I'll put you on. If you want to tell it, one of your friends wanted to tell it, whatever, please do, so I don't have to tell these terrible jokes all the time. Hey guys, Allie and Alan, thanks so much for being on. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know you guys are busy walking dogs all the time, and us trying to get together has been a difficult thing. So really appreciate it.
Well,
Thanks for
thank
having
you
us.
for being so persistent. This has been awesome.
I've been wanting to have you guys on for a long time because, everybody needs a dog walker at some point. And then for everybody that's out there listening, please keep listening. Tell people about the podcast. There's always great stories like this on here. And follow us and do all those other things but more importantly, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate everybody for real.
For real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real.
We're supported by Let's Walk, that's here to love your animals like our own.
Austin, Houston, and Denver. Let's Walk is here to love your animals like our own. From daily walks, play, in-house sleepovers, and more. Go to work, out on the town, or take a vacation knowing your pets are in the best hands. This woman-owned small business does it all. Check us out on Instagram at Let's Walk Austin, Houston, and Denver.
That concludes this episode of For Real with your host, Mark Kyle. For previous and future episodes of For Real, listen via all major podcast streaming sites.